Hi Scorpio, welcome to your week ahead tarot with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. Check out all three so that you know which part of you I resonate with most as a reader. With that said, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise. They help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. For your key to the week this week, you have the Wheel of Fortune. Nice. Okay, so this is a shift point, right? Remember, the Wheel of Fortune is where we get some kind of movement, change, and it's usually change for the better. The Wheel of Fortune is a card of luck, success, abundance. What I love most about this card, though, it tends to see us in the right place at the right time. For your actions and options, you've got the Knight of Swords. So for a lot of you, there's a lot of consideration about how you utilize or interact with your local environment. There's a lot of you that are traveling at the moment, which is wonderful. This Wheel of Fortune with the Knight of Swords, a lot of you are looking at or trying to maybe streamline your commute in some way, shape or form at the moment. So even if this is not necessarily what you're doing right now, this could be something that you're thinking about for the long term. Now, another way that this also potentially shows up is this week, my dear Scorpios, you could be driving just a little bit too fast this week. On a really practical level, slow it down, because this week there's a potential for you to get a ticket. All right, now when it comes to those of you when it comes to your the options that are available to you, one way that this potentially shows up is this could be like an interview that comes out of the blue. This could be an opportunity or an offer of something of some kind, likely to have something to do with the work, the profession, the career, where you're just kind of like, oh, you know, I wasn't expecting that, but it shows up for you regardless. Now, for your communications and conversations, you've got the Two of Wands. This is a money card. This is, look at this, right? This is a boost to the resources or the finances or the earning potential that shows up for you very much out of the blue. And maybe for some of you, it's like, you know what? This was exactly the boost that I needed at just the moment that I needed it. For those of you that are studying or in some form of academia, the Two of Wands with the Knight of Swords, this is you having to fight a little harder or offer more information for funding or resources that you need in order to study. So there's like more information that's needed at this time. It's not that I think you'll absolutely get it. I just think that there's more information that they're wanting to glean from you about your situation. Be happy to give it, because there's a possibility that you could end up getting more, or they highlight to you some sort of loan, grant or bursary that is available to you and you're like, oh, I didn't even realize I could get that. When it comes to those of you that are employed by somebody else, similar kind of thing this week. But I will say, if you're prepared to negotiate this week, you could absolutely get your pay rise. If you're willing to highlight the impact that your job has on your living situation and lean on that bit particularly quite hard, this week you could absolutely get some kind of, I don't want to say breakthrough, but some kind of financial recompense, right? Even for some of you, it might even come down to maybe you get a company car. It could be that maybe you get a mileage allowance that you've never had before. There's some kind of boost to the resources that can come through the work this week. For those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work for themselves, that whole thing about being in the right place at the right time, this week you are rubbing shoulders with somebody that we would consider, you know, like an upper crust type, someone that's a mover and a shaker, and it might not even be that they're necessarily hugely known in their industry, but they definitely move in affluent circles that can have a really, really good impact on you and your earning potential. This is new business that comes in, but it comes in from the right kinds of people that are ready to spend that money, honey, okay? So all good things to come. I'm good with this. I actually think this is a really good space for a lot of you to be. For those of you that are retired and no longer working, again, you're whipping around here, there and everywhere. I just want to say, like, please, 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 be a little bit more cautious and conscious when you are out driving, because it looks like you got a lead foot this week. All right. For your love and relations, you've got the Page of Swords. So this is a lot of communication. Communication is good, but for you, it's very one focus. Whereas your partner might have a bit of a gripe. They might have a bone to pick, right? And with this Knight of Swords here, Knight and Page of Swords, that's a lot of potentially tough conversations to be had in a relationship. So if you're partnered, married, or in a long-term commitment, it's like things are going really good with work, or things are starting to move with this, but the relationship, and it's not that it's causing a problem, it's just that it's not as smooth or as easy as you're used to having it. And so this creates a little bit of tension. It's maybe there's some harsh words here, and it's all because you're trying to figure out how this works. Well, quite frankly, the universe is going to put something on your path that will force you to deal with it so that things can go back to being smooth. For those of you that are single and looking, somebody that rubs you up the wrong way. This is a message that keeps coming up for you guys recently. So if you're single, you're meeting somebody very much by chance, potentially in a work setting or arena, which makes a lot of sense to me. With these two pages, though, this is somebody that you know, they say like it's a thin line between love and hate, and it really does feel like that. I feel like you guys are about to meet somebody, or are meeting someone that just really gets right on your fucking you know, someone that just really pisses you off, and you're like, oh, go away. And then you start thinking to yourself like, well, I don't know, you are kind of cute, and then you say, before you know it, you're like, oh my gosh, I like this person. Okay, so you've got the Page of Pentacles. So 2 pages represents disquiet. So it is going to get a little rocky this week, right? There's no getting around it. Now, when it comes to your money and your finances, there are good ideas. There's things here, though, that need to... There are ideas and or thoughts or even products or services that need to be developed further in order for you to extract the resources from them. Those 2 pages as disquiet, there's something here where you disagree with the price. And I will say, if there's something in your world where you feel like you're being overcharged, this is the week for you to kind of say, okay, you know what, actually, I feel like, you know, this, like I'm overpaying for this. It's kind of like, you know, when you come to the end of your contract and you say to your contract or your service provider, like, unless you can do something for me, I'm going to find a competitor, because, you know what, you're not performing at optimal for me. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, this is going to be, watch out for the throat this week. Just watch out for the throat, the voice in general. Watch out for things like inflammation, potentially something like tonsillitis. I hope I'm wrong on that front, but just, you know, watch out. And then when it comes to your home and environment, it could get a little rocky there. And I think a part of it is because you just want to focus on what you want to focus on. And if you live with somebody else, it's not going to fly. All right. So you've got to broaden your consideration net this week. And quite frankly as well, it looks like a lot of you are either not spending that much time at home this week, or like if you've got a partner, maybe they're not spending a lot of time at home this week. It's like you're zipping around here, there and everywhere, and you are on your travels, and it's like what time you do have at home, you just want it to be downtime, and it's like, don't ignore me. Whether that's the partner, the pets, the children, all of the above. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. If you want to get a personal reading with me, do so on the link in the description box below. Take care, and I'll see you soon.